If you search my name online, you would not find a single thing. I am 85 years old. I rent a 1974 Airstream trailer parked behind a diner in the middle of New Mexico. My total net worth, if you count the coins in the bottom of my purse, is somewhere around $40. I do not own property. I have no pension. I have never been a manager, a director, a boss of anybody. By every single measure that this society uses to judge a human life, I am a catastrophic, irredeemable failure. And I am without a shadow of a doubt the happiest woman you will ever meet. I know what you are thinking. That poor old woman, she must have made some terrible mistakes. I did not make mistakes. I did this on purpose. And I am going to tell you something today that the people running this world are absolutely terrified of you finding out. Stay with me, because this might be the most useful thing anyone has ever said to you. If you are new to this channel, subscribe right now. This is a place where people who have lived long enough to stop caring what anyone thinks finally say what they actually know. Subscribe, and let me take you back to 1961. You probably think I am just some uneducated woman who could not cut it. In 1961, I was 22 years old and I had a full scholarship to Yale Law School. I had been at the top of my class my entire life. They called me a prodigy. First day of orientation, I walked into that massive Gothic building and I looked around at the other students. They were wearing their sharp little suits, but I looked at their eyes. They looked like cattle walking into a slaughterhouse, terrified of not being number one, terrified of what their parents would think if they did not make partner by 30. They were already trembling and the race had not even started. I sat in that wooden chair for exactly 14 minutes, and then I understood something so clearly it felt like cold water on my face. If I stayed in that chair, I would be handing them a blank check for the rest of my life. So I stood up, I walked out through those heavy wooden doors, I dropped my notebook in a public trash can, and I hitched a ride to California. My parents did not speak to me for 10 years. They told everyone I had thrown my life away. I did not throw it away. I saved it. I spent the next 60 years doing exactly what I wanted. I waitressed in beach towns. I played guitar on street corners in New Orleans. I bartended in small towns where nobody knew my name and everybody bought me a drink anyway. I made exactly enough money for dinner and a cold beer. And when I woke up every morning, my time belonged entirely to me. Let me tell you about a woman I knew from that first day at Yale. Her name was Caroline. Caroline stayed. Caroline played the game perfectly. She became a corporate attorney, made millions, bought the house in Connecticut, the summer house on the Cape, the beautiful clothes, the important dinners. Caroline was a winner. Caroline died of a massive stress-induced heart attack at 54 years old. She dropped in her corner office surrounded by mahogany furniture and a view of the city she never had time to look at. Her husband had already left because she worked 80 hours a week. Her children barely cried at the funeral because they barely knew her. She spent 30 years carrying a 1,000-pound boulder up a mountain just so the world would applaud her at the top, and it killed her. They call me a failure. But I am 85 years old. I am breathing. I watch the sunset every single evening, and my heart beats slow and easy. Caroline won the game, but what exactly did she win? She traded her one beautiful breathing life for pieces of paper and a title on a door that nobody reads anymore. Here's the trick they play on you. They convince you that wealth means accumulation. Gather more, own more, be more, but things are heavy. When you buy a massive house, you do not own that house. That house owns you. You have to clean it, insure it, lie awake at 2 in In the morning, worrying about the roof, you have to stay in a job you hate just to pay the mortgage on a house you are never inside because you are always at work. It is complete insanity. I live in a tin can in the desert. If I do not like the view, I hook it to my truck and drive to Arizona. When you have absolutely nothing, you have everything. Think about it this way. If you are walking up a long hill, who is going to enjoy that walk? The woman carrying 100 pounds of gold on her back, sweating and groaning, or the woman carrying nothing but a canteen of water, listening to the birds? I dropped the gold in 1961, and I have been floating ever since. Now, I look at your generation, and it breaks my heart. You do not just carry the pressure of your parents and your neighbors anymore. You carry a machine in your pocket that compares your life to 8 billion other people every second of the day. You have these influencers talking about optimizing everything, tracking your sleep with computers on your wrists, waking up at 4 in the morning for ice baths, building a personal brand. A personal brand, you are a human being, not a box of laundry detergent. You are trying to turn your organic, beautiful, messy human life into a perfectly efficient machine. You are trying to be a better battery. Why? So you can reach the end of your life and say, I never enjoyed a single Tuesday, but my productivity was exceptional. That is a sickness. You are sprinting on a treadmill and you are terrified of falling off. Let me tell you what actual wealth is, because you will not learn it anywhere else. Wealth is not dreading Monday morning. Wealth is waking up and realizing that nobody on this entire planet requires you to do a single thing you do not want to do. Wealth is the absence of that tight burning knot in your stomach. I have no pension, but I have spent 60 years reading books under oak trees. I have had 3-hour conversations with strangers in diners at midnight. I have watched the rain fall without feeling guilty that I was not hustling. I have played guitar badly in town squares while tourists dropped coins in my case, and I played another song anyway because I wanted to. That is wealth, not the number in an account. The feeling in your chest when you wake up. You think failure is the worst thing that can happen to you. You think if you do not get the promotion or drive the right car that you are worthless. Listen to me. Failure is just the word society uses for people it cannot control. When you do not care about that, your boss cannot threaten you. When you have nothing to protect, you become bulletproof. I am sitting in a rusted tin can in the desert, and I am the freest woman alive. Now, I want to speak to you directly, because if you have stayed with me this long, something in what I am saying is touching something in you. So here is what I know. After 85 years, after 60 years of choosing freedom over everything the world said I should want, the first thing, stop living for the applause of people who are just as frightened as you are. Every decision you make to impress someone else is a decision stolen from yourself. The job you took for the title, the house you bought for the neighbors, the life you are performing instead of living. Ask yourself one honest question. If no one was watching, what would you do differently? The answer to that question is your real life, the one waiting for you on the other side of everyone else's opinion. The second thing, the things you accumulate will eventually accumulate you. I have lived in a trailer for decades. I own almost nothing. And every single morning I wake up with more space inside me than most people with 5-bedroom houses will ever feel. Before you add something to your life, ask what it will cost you, not in money, in time, in freedom, in the Tuesdays you will never get back. The third thing, the most radical thing a woman can do in this world is refuse to be useful on someone else's terms. They told me in 1961 that a woman with my mind had a responsibility to do something important with it. What they meant was, do something important for us. I did something important. I lived my own life completely, without apology, without permission. That is the most important thing I have ever done. And it is the thing they will never put on a resume. And it is the thing that kept me alive and breathing and free for 85 years. The fourth thing, it is not too late. I know you think it is. I know you have mortgages and children and obligations that feel like walls. I am not telling you to walk out of your life the way I walked out of Yale. I am telling you to find one Tuesday, one ordinary Tuesday where you do something entirely because it belongs to you, not because it is productive, not because it builds toward anything, just because it makes you feel like yourself. Start there. The rest has a way of following. I am 85 years old. I live in a tin can in New Mexico. I have $40 to my name. And this morning I watched the sun come up over the desert with a cup of bad coffee. And I felt something I want you to feel before you run out of time to feel it. I felt like every single choice I made led me exactly here. And here is enough. Here is more than enough. Here is everything. If something I said today reached something in you, share this. Send it to anyone who is exhausted from performing a life they did not choose. Send it to yourself on a Sunday night when the dread is already starting. Leave a comment below. Tell me what you would do if no one was watching. I read every single one. And if you are not yet subscribed, do it now. Because the most dangerous ideas are the ones nobody platforms. This is where we say them anyway. Take care of yourself. And remember the at the bottom of everything the world told you to want. Yes, the view is spectacular.